demons, and Nemo. And of course, fellow Toastmasters and guests. May I have a show of hand, how many of you like to travel? What kind of places have you traveled before?
Hawaii.
Singapore.
Really nice.
Singapore.
Nice.
Europe.
Japan.
Seems like I'm in no position to give you tips. Nevertheless, I would like to share with you an unforgettable trip that I had and some lessons that I learned from it. During June last year, Kevin, a friend of mine, and I decided to drive to KL to meet our friend Darren, who is studying over there. Darren said he would settle our accommodations and plan an itinerary that would make our weekend trip so unforgettable and so awesome. On the first day of the trip, I left home after lunch to pick up Kevin from his house, and we started our journey up north. On the way, we stopped by Indy University to pick up Kevin's best female friend. Let's just name her Joanne, because her name is rather troublesome to pronounce. After that, we continued our journey and reached KL at about 6 p.m. We picked up Darren, and he brought us to a restaurant to fill our stomach. Once we satisfied our desire for food, Darren brought us to enjoy the night view of KL, which is a color-changing hanging bridge. Nevertheless, we stayed there for more than 1 hour to make sure that we took picture of every angle and every color of the bridge. After a long night of photographing, which is very tiring, we settled down in Darren's room. Yes, not house, room. Then, there was a saying that it doesn't matter what you say or what you do, as long as you're with the right people. And so in the room, we talked, we laughed so hard that we went into silent and vibrating mode. Literally, like this. For 10 minutes. Finally, at about 3 a.m., we went to sleep because the laughing is really too tiring. The next day, or should I say, 2 hours later, we woke up. Darren brought us to a nearby park to witness the beautiful sunrise, which he himself had not seen before. Okay, I took out my phone and opened a compass app to make sure that we are facing the correct direction. This is east. Let's find a place with no trees so we can have a clear view of the beautiful sunrise. As we walked along the park, we saw a huge pond with fully bloomed lotuses on the surface. I imagined that it was beautiful. Yes, I imagined. Because it was still dark and I can't see it. Opposite the pond was a children's paradise. There was a playground about 4 to 5 times the size of the normal playground you see in HDB. Isn't that heaven?
Yes.
Then we finally found a suitable spot with a clear view of the horizon. We were very excited. We waited there very patiently, and slowly the sky starts to brighten up. Where's the sun? How can the sky brightens up without the sun? Let's go to higher ground. And so we drove into Darren's uni, which is on a higher ground. We came out from the car, we looked around. Damn you, Hayes. Now you understand why it is such an unforgettable trip. Because one does not simply wake up at 5 a.m. to watch sunrise on a hazy day. Disappointed, irritated, and frustrated, we went to have breakfast. We then spend the rest of the day shopping. 3 guys. Following 1 girl. Shopping. Just before going back, Joanne suggested that we buy some beers to drink while playing some card games and truth or dare. That night, we played until 3 a.m. before going to sleep. I'm sorry, it's 5 a.m. before going to sleep. 3 hours later, we drove back to JB and ended our unforgettable trip. Now, what can you learn from this trip that I had? First, check the weather forecast. Although sometimes it's not accurate, yes, but at least you get the slightest hint that waking up at 5 a.m. to watch sunrise is not a good idea. Second, when you're going to drive 300 kilometers, 3 hours of sleep is not enough. I'm really glad that I called Kevin along, otherwise I would be walking through walls right now. Despite all the unexpected things that happened, it was indeed a fun, enjoyable, and unforgettable trip. Back to you, Toastmasters.